don't know what's going on, but we are going to make this episode happen. There's a lot of wind here, and I hope you don't hear the wind from the windows. It's a really windy day, so let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Stay Calm and Crochet. I'm Sandra, your host, also known as SandraStitches, and I'm really glad you're here because today we are going to talk about stitches and texture and how we can use them in different pieces that we're making. So I'm very excited about it. Let's dive in. I think about a year ago, I came up with this idea that I want to make a kind of vest that is very simple, but very texture. Something that you can put on, like, you know, in the days that you don't need a very heavy clothing, but you need something to feel more comfortable because it's kind of chilly and you're going out, or maybe you just stay home and you feel like you need something on. But you know, I like to make things and design my patterns in such a way that they are simple to make, like two rectangles, but with a lot of texture, so it looks really special and unique. I didn't have a special yarn, but I knew I wanted it to be in a kind of more the chunky, bulky, chunky yarns, right? I couldn't remember the word. I'm sorry. If you don't know me, I'm Sandra. I live in Israel. English is not my first language, but I make these videos in English because my audience is worldwide and I want everybody to understand what I'm talking about. So if I ramble a little bit during the video, it's just because of that. All right? So I hope you understand everything I say. Anyway, so I didn't have a special kind of a yarn that I wanted to use, but I had in my stash this yarn. Let me see, I have here this yarn. Okay, you can see it's called Hayfield Bonus Chunky Extra Value. So it's on the side of the not so expensive yarns. All right, it's 100% acrylic, 100 grams, about 150 yards, which is around 37 meters. All right, so it's, you know, standard yarn, but on the chunky side of the yarns. Now, I don't think it's really chunky in the weight. It's more like a bulky yarn. So I had this color, which is kind of a, you know, very light beige color. If you follow me, you know that I like the browns and the smoked pinks and not kind of natural colors. But if you go to my Ravelry and you look in my patterns, so you will see all kind of colors, because sometimes it depends the yarn I have at that moment. So I use it for the sample of my piece. But usually I tend to avoid very, you know, kind of neon and all the shiny colors, but I prefer more neutrals. So this is definitely a neutral color, and I want to introduce you to my Sophia Bolero vest. I call it Sophia Bolero because it's kind of a bolero, but it's a vest. Look at this. I want to go over with you all the parts of this vest, and it's really simple. The basic of this vest is just two rectangles. Now I go crazy because when I design something in two rectangles, so I say, okay, it cannot stay just two rectangles. I have to add something. I have to make special stitches. I have to combine all kind of stitches to give it a little more unique personality, right? So let's go over it. If you look at the shape, so it's one rectangle here, okay, folded, okay, one rectangle, another exactly one rectangle, so two rectangles that are joined here in the middle, right, joined here in the middle and joined here for the arms here. That's all. And I added a kind of brim here also with texture, but also because I wanted it to go, if you make two rectangles and you make it a little bit oversized, so it goes kind of too big on your body, and I wanted it to be a little bit more attached to the body, more like that you can feel it, so it stays and it doesn't kind of fall off. All right, so I made a brim that with reduced stitches, right? And yeah, we'll go over it and I'll tell you all about the stitches that I use here. So let's begin with the two rectangles. First of all, as you can see, it's a kind of oversize, right? So you can make this any size. It just depends which yarn you're using and how wide you want the rectangle to be and how long you want it to be, so that you, if you want the vest to be a short one, or maybe you want it a little bit longer. So let's go over the stitches at the main piece of this bolero, which is the rectangles. As you can see here, okay, I have double crochet. It's one row of double crochet here, one row of X stitch. Excuse me one moment, I need, where is it? Need to, yeah, drink a little water. Something happened to my throat. All right, so we have one row of double crochet, one row, where is it? Two rows of double crochet. Excuse me, there is no X stitch here. Okay, let's start again. Okay, let's look at this piece and go over the stitches that I use for the two rectangles. You can make it, you can find the pattern, the written pattern, in my Ravelry shop. There is a link in the description box below, and it's a paid pattern, but yeah, you can download it there. Let's go over it. So we have two rows of double crochet, one row of a puff stitch. I call it the small puff stitch because it's just one treble crochet, one single crochet, one treble crochet, one single crochet. It's not the traditional puff stitch that you go over and over like 4 or 5 times. It's just a small puff, but it gives so much texture. Look at this. And then one row of double crochet and one row of window, which I think the window stitch gives every piece a little bit of air, so it's not so intense and dense, and I like it because I like to be more dynamic, not so blocked. So if I incorporate the window stitch in the middle of my design, it gives a little bit of air. And it's also a very easy row to make, right? We love those easy rows. And then it's again, that's the repeat. It's 2 double crochet rows, 1 small puff stitch row, and 1 double crochet and 1 window. And that's it. So you can make this repeat as many times as you want to make the width of the one rectangle, and then make another one exactly the same, and you're done. Now, because I wanted to add a little bit of, uniqueness, so when I joined here the sides to close it, as I said, I made a brim. When I made a brim, I decreased a little bit. Nothing special. I just decreased as I went. Not a special pattern, not something that you have to, go by the book. I just decreased as I went until I felt, and I tried all the time, until I felt it was okay to put it on my waist, and I felt okay with it. So it's just single crochet stitches and decreasing. And then I wanted to give it extra texture and extra uniqueness, so I went around and made a shell stitch row around at the bottom of this brim, so it stays all together. And because I made this shell stitch around at the bottom, I wanted to make it again in the arm part. So when I close it here, after I close it, and then I made the brim, and then I made 1 row of shell stitch here all around the armhole. So it gives this Bolero vest such a beautiful ending, like feeling. It's kind of squarey, like rectangle, but the stitches are, say, double crochet and windows that are very square stitches. A little bit of round with the small puff, so it gives a little bit of round, and then the shell stitch on the arm gives the whole thing a new feeling, more feminine, more interesting, more unique. All right, so this is my Sophia Bolero pattern. As I said, you can find it in my Ravelry. The link is below. I think it's amazing. You can go into my Ravelry and see so many different colors that people made this pattern. So you can see there are people who made it with the one color and people who made it with the variegated yarn. You can essentially use any chunky, bulky chunky yarn that you have. I don't remember how many grams of yarn this was, but I think it was around 350 grams, between 300 and 400 grams. So it was around 4 balls of yarn, or maybe 3. I have to look it up. I can't really remember how many, but it's all written in the pattern. Now, this is the kind of designs that I love, because these 2 rectangles joined together, you can make so many different shapes. Rectangles can have this V open here, or you can have boat necks, you can have square necks, you can have turtle necks, You can have anything with just the two rectangles joined together and have a piece that you can wear. So we'll talk about more about the two rectangles thing, but this is the Sophia Bolero. And yeah, this is one of the pieces I used with this yarn. And then I had left, I think one ball. I had 5 balls of yarn, skeins of yarn. So if this was around 4, I think, because I didn't do any other projects with it except what I'm going to talk to about now. So I think it was around 4 skeins, and then I had one whole skein left. And yesterday I made this. It's going to be a cowl. I talked about this in another episode. I'll link here because it's a special kind of construction for this cowl. Very simple. It's just how do you call it? The first loop half double crochet, which I mean that you work, if you're working, so you're not working in the V here, you are working here in this first loop here, in the front loop, the first front loop here, right? So you're not working in the V of the stitch here, and you're not working in this the back loop here. You are working in the first front loop here. So if you work the half double crochet there, this is what you get, which is kind of a knitting stitch. You know, you can make brims, you can make all kinds of things, but it gives you this kind of knitting shape stitch. And this is going to be, I'm making a tutorial for this for my Facebook group, which is free Facebook community. It's called Crochet and Stories with Sandra. You can join us for free, and I make small, quick tutorials. We have challenges every month. We have a lot of fun inside the community, so you are welcome to join us. But this is going to be a special construction because this rectangle, again, if you join it here like this and you wear it like this, right? Here is your, that's right here. If I wear it like this, so you can see that I'm going to have this beautiful cowl that is going to keep me warm here. It's going to be like a turtleneck on me, and I can just, you know, very comfortable, not too bulky, not too much things on me, just this. I can put it on, wear even a sweater on it or a coat or whatever, and that's it, and then take it off. So I made another one because in that video I talked about it, and I made one with a very thin yarn, and here it is, this one. So you'll see in the video. So I wanted to make another one with bulky yarn because I thought it would be more comfortable, even though if you make it with very thin yarn like DK or around weight yarn, so it's okay. It's very, I think, can be very good if you are, you know, it's not such a big, it's such a cold day and you want to put something on your neck and you don't want something that it's too coming out and, you know, too bulky. So it can be a great idea. I also think this can be a beautiful idea for a Christmas gift if you're gifting a family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, whatever. So it's really, really fast if you use the bulky yarn, or even not the bulky yarn. So it's just a few rows. You make a rectangle with this stitch, and then you sew it together in this special way. I will write a pattern, so the pattern with the construction uh, drawing will be in my Ravelry. But yeah, this is what I made. So 5 skeins of yarn, of this yarn. I have these 2 things. As I said, I really like to make things that are texture and give life to the yarn and give life to us as we wear them. I hope you enjoy this, and let me see if there was something else I wanted to talk about. No, this is it. So this is the end of our episode, and I will see you next one. Have a great day. Stay calm and crochet. And by the way, I am uploading, making videos between the episodes now and then. I will be having videos where I just sit down and crochet. I don't talk. And I will put some relaxing music and incorporate all kind of landscape, small videos to, just enjoy. If you want to sit down and crochet and have something on the background, which is not Netflix or something else, and you want to watch somebody crochet with you and feel like maybe we are crocheting together. So look out in my channel, subscribe to my channel, and then you'll see all these videos as well. It's something new. I hope you enjoyed. So bye for now. Stay calm and